Hello everyone, hello everybody, and welcome to 10 questions with Thunes. My name is Christophe Bourbier. I'm the CEO of Thunes Collection, and I'm really delighted to be opening this first LinkedIn Live Today session from Paris. And I'm even more delighted to welcome on board Axel Mouquet with us.
Hello, Christophe.
Hello, Axel.
Live from Paris and Lyon, please.
And Lyon as well, yeah, where Axel is based. Thanks for being with us, Axel. Just before we go into the things and to the 10 questions, I just wanted to explain to our people that for us this is the first of a series of LinkedIn Live that Thunes will be running with some partners, with some clients, with some friends. And hopefully, we believe that we will be able soon to run those events face-to-face in our different offices across the world. But for now, for today, this is going to be a very truly virtual event that we are running today with you, Axel. And at least the beauty of it is that doing a truly virtual event, there are many people around the world that can attend it. So this is cool.
No pressure.
So no pressure, no pressure at all. So again, as I told you, I'm joined by Axel Mouquet. Axel, do you mind if I do a quick introduction about you and your
please
and your past? So Axel, you were graduated from ESSEC Business School. Then you joined WebHelp in 2008 as a key account manager. Then you have taken over the top management role of the Compiègne site in 2012. And then you joined the subsidiary WebHelp Payment Services that we are going to talk about today as director of business development first, when we met, by the way, at the end of 2014. Then as chief commercial officer in January 28. And now you are the CEO of WebHelp Payment Services. So, Axel, welcome again to 20 Questions with Thunes. Was it a good summary of your resume?
Yeah, very good. Can you call my mom to do it like that? Because I think that would be great.
She will enjoy it. Okay, I'll do. Fine with that. Thanks. So, Axel, ready to maybe to kickstart with a series of questions. So I know, WebHelp is an amazing company, but I believe that some of the audience may not know what is WebHelp and also what is WebHelp Payment Services. Could you give us some explanation on what you do, maybe a few names of clients and what you do for them?
Yes, sure, with pleasure. So let's start by WebHelp. WebHelp, we are the leading BPO player in Europe, and we are also now implanting ourselves in the Americas and APAC. What does BPO mean? Business Process Outsourcing. So what we do for our living, it's our clients, they outsource some business process to us. And what we do with them, it's we design the process, we deliver them through our 200 sites all over the world in 40, 45 countries now. And we optimize these processes. And these processes could be payment processes, it's what we will talk later on, but also in other fields, customer care, digital content moderation, B2B sales. Whenever there is technology and people involved in a process is what we can do at WebHelp. Right now, we are 100 and so close to 100,000 web helpers all over the globe, and we are happy to support great company, a lot of the GAFAMs as examples, but mainly in the, let's say, financial industry, because I think it's what we are interested about today. We work for big banks like BNP, Santander, HSBC, but also with fast-growing fintechs such as Pioneer, N26, etc. So we are, and I would say that the financial services is one of the fastest growing industry for us at WebHelp. And at WebHelp Payment Services, what we do, it's so we're the, let's say, the the entity fully dedicated about business process related to payments. And we have the big specificity to be really dedicated to B2B payments. Why? Because we will have the chance to discuss that later on, but B2B payments are quite specificity compared to B2C payments. And it's what we do for a living for a few decades now at WPS. And so we support amazing brands in their B2B payment processes. So it could be fashion brands such as Michael Kors, Guess, or LVMH, or Coach, or this kind of beauty brands. Could be retailers such as Conrad Electronics in Germany, Conforama in France, or it could be also, which is interesting business cases, industrial manufacturers such as Siemens, Alstom, this kind of big player. And so we support them when they go digital, when they launch marketplaces, when they go international and they open new markets. So depending about their strategy, we try to help them design, deliver, optimize all the payment part of their projects in these fields.
Okay, so Webhelp Payment Services, it's about payment, you said. Not only, but it's a lot about payment, it's a lot about marketplaces. Before we go back to those marketplaces and we go into details of what marketplaces and be a bit more specific about what it means to be in B2B payment and not in B2C, that amazing journey of Webhelp, starting from nothing to, you said, 100,000 employees now in 40 or 45 countries. Could you tell us about the journey that it has been there, and specifically also for Webhelp Payment Services? How do you start from zero and then reach 100,000 employees? That's amazing.
Yeah, well, so just fun story. Webhelp. What are we named Webhelp? It's the company has been founded in 2000, and at that time the founders has a very good conviction that the future of internet will be through a white page with a search engine. You can write something, push the search button, and having results. So I think it was a quite good conviction about how the internet will deploy. But they had a second conviction: the automation of this process will never happen, and so you will need human to search and to give the links and to answer, and it will be more in a chat mode. That was not a very good conviction, this one, and so. But it's explained why Webhelp is successful, because starting with this idea of creating Googles, the human Googles, I would say, we figured out that it will not work, and then we switch and we say, okay, but what we are able to do at Webhelp is leverage technology, having people delivering processes. And it's where the story starts 22 years ago now. And since then, I think we with this ability, this agility to switch, to always reinvent ourselves, we have followed three axes that explain, I think, the high growth of the company. First is expand the reach, meaning we started in France and in Europe. Now we made a big acquisition in America. We are going fast in APAC. So expand the reach, the geographical reach has been always a huge focus, and we did mainly through acquisition, because opening new markets is not so easy when you don't know the culture, when you don't have the people. So expand the reach. Second, transform the core, meaning we don't want only to execute process from our clients. We want also to be able to help them to transform what they do, to support that transformation, digital transformation, but also opening of new products, new services. And so we have a lot of consultants in-house to support this transformation. And bringing this added value is the best way to develop our services, our solution, and growing with our clients. And the third axis is about extend services. And WPS is a good example of that. The core business of Webhelp at the very beginning was around customer care. And then we diversify our our services portfolio, engaging ourselves in new industry, in new services such as order to cash, payments, and through acquisition and organic growth. And it's what we do at WPS. It's really to say, the heart of what we do at WebApp is really about customer experience, but that's very large, and from the order, the sales, the customer care, the support, the payment, and so on and so forth. And it's what we try to do at WebApp is always extend our services to be able to support the transformation of our clients in what they want, to reinvent the customer experience.
Okay, and so WebHelp Payment Services today, how many employees? I mean, compared to the 1,000 of 100,000 of WebHelp.
Yeah, that's not a very gentle, because I'm not 100,000. No, it's I would say that it should represent something like 1,500 employees at WebHelp that are working on the payments related topics.
On the WebHelp Payment Services. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very clear. So, Axel, you said WebHelp Payment Services, it's about payment, it's about marketplace, it's about B2B. Those are kind of buzzwords that hide a lot of things behind. So I would like to be a bit more specific about that. First, what do you mean by marketplace? What is a marketplace, and how is it different from a merchant? I believe people know in general what is a marketplace, but I would like to understand why you've decided to go for marketplaces and what is the complexity that you guys solve for marketplaces.
So, marketplaces, I think we can have a large definition of marketplaces. Let's say any platform business where it's many to many. You have many vendors, providers that are selling their products or services, and you have many customers, B2B and customers, that can buy from them. And this many to many create a complexity. First, because there is a lot of interaction, but also because it's very regulated, because when you offer payment services to marketplaces, you are actually selling a regulated payment services. So you also have a regulation. So why did we engage ourselves in marketplaces and B2B marketplaces? So when we did the acquisition of WPS 7 years ago at WebHelp, WPS were one of the only fintechs or PSP fully dedicated to B2B, but mainly offline transaction. So then we say, okay, the future of B2B, sure, the offline will still be developed, but they will go online. And so we made a lot of study to understand how the B2B will accelerate its digitalization. And we figured out that it may be, and that's the case actually, through marketplaces or platform business model. And we figured out that first, we had a really big experience in B2B workflows, payment workflows, and that we can help. And second, you need to have a regulated partner to manage all these flows. And also we are a payment institution. So for these reasons, we engage ourselves in the B2B marketplaces space.
Okay, and could you give maybe one or two names of B2B marketplaces that you've launched?
Yes, but I named few of them. But so Siemens, Alstom, Conrad Electronics, work with Aniel. We work with France Boisson, with Turner Price in the food and beverage industry. So we are running around 40 B2B marketplaces right now.
Okay, and could you remind us again why a Siemens, a Thales, a France Boisson, why do they launch a marketplaces? What does it bring to them? Why don't they do just a merchant website like anyone else? Okay,
so there are various use cases, but if I have to summarize, I would say there is, depending about the operator, the one that is launching a marketplace, let's say there is two main use cases. The first one, very classical, like in B2C, you are a retailer, Conrad Electronics, you want to enlarge your catalog of products and services, you want to rise your volume of storage, and so you are adding third-party vendors to just enrich your catalog. So that's the classic one, very easy to understand and very successful because, your customers are searching product, they don't find it today. And when you add a third-party vendor, they find it, and that's the new GMV for you. So that's the first case. And the second case, more coming from the manufacturers themselves. So Alstom, Siemens, Thales, it's good examples. They are, for example, let's use the example of Alstom. They are producing trains, tramways, or any mobility engines, this kind of stuff. And when you, as a city or a mobility professional, when you buy a train, you will spend almost the same cost than a train in the next 10 years about maintenance, reparation, spare parts, services, and so on and so forth. And so these manufacturers, when they launch marketplaces, what they want is to also aggregate the after-sale market to be able to create a one-stop shop experience for their clients and to be able to then also not only sell trains, but also sell whatever their clients will need after the buying of a train in this field. So to make it simple, I would say that the two main use cases we are seeing now.
That pretty much sounds like what Amazon did 20 years ago or 15 years ago, I don't know, for B2C. Can we say that?
Yes, but the big difference, I think, yes, now there is Amazon Business, they are growing fast and showing that really there is a huge digitalization in B2B as well. I would say the main difference, it's a lot of marketplaces, the one we have just listed, they have a vertical approach, meaning Alstom is not selling to any kind of professional, they are only selling to professionals in the mobility sector. Turner Price, France Boisson, Cedis, they are only selling to hotel, restaurant, and in the HoReCa business, food and beverage. And I think that's why for this player it's interesting, because their big differentiator is their knowledge of their industry. And they can really offer, leveraging marketplace business model, they can leverage a one-stop shop approach, very verticalized, very expert on one industry. So that's why they're a bit, I would say, they can really develop themselves in this field, even if there is a big A, Alibaba, Amazon, also growing fast in this field.
Okay, understand. Thanks. And Axel, you seem to be very knowledgeable in marketplaces and B2B marketplaces. And finally, why and what were you looking for when you decided to partner with Thunes Collections, formerly Limonetic, to build those marketplaces and to launch those marketplaces, to offer those marketplaces services?
Okay, so maybe one thing that we need to explain. I think that the B2C e-commerce and the B2B e-commerce are really converging. I mean, as a professional, we are also an individual, a B2C customer, and so we want to have the same kind of experience in our B2B world than we have in B2C. So it's converging, except for payments. That's for me the big difference. Why? Because as a professional, you want to pay on due date. You want to do invoice payment. You don't want to pay upfront in the checkout and then receive the product of the services. You want to receive the product and the services, one invoice, and then to pay on due date. And it's little detail create a lot of different workflows that you need to implement, risk management, collection services, reconciliation, specific payment means, specific customer experience you need to implement. And so to answer your question, to do that, it requires a lot of agility because you need to be solution driven, meaning you can't come into the market only with your product. Here is the API documentation, please read it, implement my payment platform, and that's done. You really need to understand the pain, the challenges, what they want to implement. And finally, each project is quite different, even if for sure we leverage some common bricks, but still there is a kind of solution approach in this kind of projects. And then we needed a partner that can offer us this agility to launch new payment methods, agility to connect new systems, agility to deploy new workflows, because it's key to support this very ambitious project from our clients. And it's what we have found 7 years ago discussing with you, Christophe, that really the specificity, I think, of Thunes Collection, it's really this ability to be solution-driven, relying on your product for sure, on your platform, but still you have really a big agility to customize, to tailor, depending on the project. And our big clients, it's what they want. So for that, I would say we are more a kind of integrator or tailor-made solution that comparable PSP as we can find in B2C.
Okay, clear. And so we know that at Thunes, we are very focused on cross-border, on payment in various countries. We have 85 payment method in more than 17 countries around the world. Is it key to be connected to all those countries? If I say it in another way, those marketplaces that you mentioned, like again, Heineken, C10, Conrad, and so on, they're rich. Is their reach international immediately, or those guys they want to start, to kickstart Europe and then that's it?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because it's a challenge, because let's say all these marketplaces are facing a kind of two opposite requirements. First, most of them are quite global company, meaning when you launch this kind of transformative project, you need to sync them with a global reach, and if you don't sync them from start global, that does not make sense for the COMEX of this company. I mean, when you are Alstom, Siemens, you are a global company. So if it's only to do something in Austria, France, or in the Nordics, that's nonsense. So there is this requirement to be global first, and second, at the same time, that's a transforming project, meaning there is change management to handle, and so for the MVP, you need to be reasonable. If you do MVP in 3 continents, in 10 currencies, you will enter a 2-year project. At the end of the project, the context will change, and so on and so forth. So clients are facing both. So I think the good solution for this equation, for this complex equation, is to sync the solution from the beginning to be scalable internationally, and then again working with you, helping us to deploy this scalability, and at the same time carefully design the MVP, making sure that we can go fast into the market, because the faster you go into the market, the faster you have the feedback from your customer, from your vendor, and you can adapt your strategy and be successful.
Okay, clear. That's what we do for you. That's what Thunes Collection do for WebHelp when it comes to launching new B2B marketplaces. You, Axel, what could you do for us? You said that you work for fintech. You mentioned Pioneer. What could you, WebHelp Payment Services, do for Thunes Group?
That's a good question. Thank you, because we are your clients, but you are also our clients, and more largely, that's very good thing, because as I said in the introduction, I think that right now the financial services, when I say financial services, I'm thinking about banks, insurance, new players such as fintechs and so on and so forth. I think it's the fastest growing industry at WebHelp. We really see us in the next year really growing very fast in this industry. Already a lot of clients there. And so as WebHelp, as a BPO player, we can support them and support you almost on all your business process. But just to name some of them, for N26, we do the customer care, meaning if you call N26 because you have a topic on your bank account, you will have someone from WebHelp helping you to understand, to do the transaction or whatever. We can do B2B sales. We work for Worldline, for example. They need to sell new products or services to merchants, and so we have teams of B2B sellers that are doing the generation leads, the conversion. Like if you have your own B2B team, sales team internally, we can also do that for you. We do that for a lot of GAFAM also. We can do so digital content moderation, important in the marketplace field when you have to produce a lot of catalogs. And finally, I would say for more specific to the industry, we also work a lot in KYC and compliance. For example, for Pioneer, we are doing both customer support for their B2B customers, but also we are doing all the KYC of Pioneer, meaning, when you are Pioneer opening new regions, signing big clients, you remember they signed a big contract with eBay last year that generate tens, hundreds of thousands of KYC and complex KYC coming from all over the world, Asia, America, Europe, and not only B2C KYC, but also B2B KYC. We all know that it's complex processes, and you need scalability there. It impacts your conversion rate when you are not fast in your KYC process. It's a risky business if you don't do it in a compliant way. And so, for example, we also deploy a KYC or more largely compliance-related operations for all these players that want to really be scalable, comply the new regulations.
Okay. And it's true that at Thunes, as we do payment in those 70 countries, 285 with 285 payment method, but also we send money. We pay out money, as we say, in more than 130 countries in the world. So KYC and KYB is very key for us. It's a pillar from what we have to do. And okay, you could be a good partner here to make this easier, more seamless, and even more compliant and scalable. Okay, I see the time is running by. Of course, maybe a last question. So now that we have understand that we at Thunes Collection and Thunes, we help you to build those B2B international marketplace, and that Webhelp payment services, you could also help Thunes to be more scalable in the way we do KYC. Not only that, but at least that first step that is very key for us. Just maybe 2 minutes on the future. So B2B marketplaces, it's not new. It has started a few years ago. It's growing. But what will be the key challenge for those marketplace, B2B marketplaces, and how can we tackle that together in the coming years?
So maybe before going to the challenges, I mean, what are the source of challenges? What is creating challenges? I would say there is 3 sources in our industry. Digital, I mean, it's quite obvious. Regulation, important. Regulation creates risk and opportunity. And newcomers that are disrupting business model and so on and so forth. So we are very carefully looking at these 3 fields to see all the initiatives going on, because it's where the challenges are created. So now back to B2B marketplaces. I think the international is a good one. The balance between MVP, but also the capacity to design a solution that is scalable internationally from day one. I think it's key. I'm seeing also BNPL, BNPL, the kind of buzzword also in B2C. But for B2B, B2B, as I said in the introduction, you are paying with payment delays in B2B. I mean, it's the way we finance all our companies. We are not paying our providers before having the product, but after 30 days, 45 days, and so on and so forth. And so all new solution around the management of these payment delays could be BNPL, new risk management solution, credit insurance, going digital, and so on and so forth. I think there will be challenges there, but also opportunity with new solution that we need to implement for clients. And last but not least, it's very specific to B2B marketplaces. It's the vendor onboarding, because the success of a marketplace is really related to the number of vendors you have onboarded. Because the more vendors, the more products, the bigger catalog, and then the bigger GMV. It's quite obvious. And working on the vendor onboarding processes, including KYC for sure, but not only customer success management, catalog integration, and so on and so forth. It's a key challenge for the B2B marketplaces, and we at Webhelp and Webhelp Payments, we help them a lot here, because we think it's really PR to exceed and fast growing afterwards.
Okay, thanks. Very clear. Axel, we are reaching the end of this first digital event. We had questions, Q&A question that were asked on LinkedIn. We are not going to have time to answer to them, but we will do that directly, if you don't mind, Axel. directly on LinkedIn at the end of the session. So we will answer to those
Okay.
two questions. Axel, I have a few other questions to ask, but not enough, no time anymore to do it. I just wanted to say two things. First, a big thank you for being with us for that first live LinkedIn session. First, it's
My
very cool
pleasure.
from you. Again, a second thank you for all the trust that you have in what with Thunes and with Limonetic for the last 7-8 years that we have been working together. That's very important for us. You've been very loyal and always close to us in what we have been doing together for the 7 years, and that's very. I believe it's very key to have this in those partnership type of relationships. Then, for people who attend that event, let me tell you that there will be one event, 10 questions with Thunes event every month. The next one will be advertised, announced on LinkedIn, as we did for that first one. And so we'll be happy to reconnect within 1 month, and also even more happy to meet you guys as soon as we can, face to face, once we are done with that COVID. Axel, many thanks again, and talk to you pretty soon.
I'm
And
looking
bye-bye to
forward to the
everyone.
next session. Happy to be in the audience of the next one. Thank you for your invitation, and happy to continue the discussion with whoever is interested offline.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.